sky turned black, the stars fell down. United we stand, but we're losing ground. One world beneath the iron fist. Voices silenced, they cease to resist. Echoes of hope in the darkening night. Fading whispers of a long-lost life. Rise up, hear the call to arms. In this storm of chaos we'll find our charms. Together we'll fight through the ashes and dust. A phoenix reborn in our hearts' purest trust. The sirens wail through the desolate towns. Once proud nations painted in the scars of the crown. A single army marching on our dreams. Unity forged in despair, or so it seems. Nothing left but shadows drifting away as the last embers of freedom decay. Rise up, hear the call to arms. In this storm of chaos we'll find our charms. Together we'll fight through the ashes and dust. A phoenix reborn in our hearts' purest trust. One global army, together we stand. In the fall of the world, we'll make our last stand.
You're muted. That shouldn't be playing again. That should not be playing again. That is too weird. We have got some serious technical issues going on tonight, man. We really do. Anyways, that being said, I'm going to get into it here, into the disclaimer, and we're going to get into the thick of things before they decide to cut the broadcast. You know, as always, I claim fair use of any and all content under the Copyright Act of 1976, which is otherwise known herein as the Fair Use Act, which is the Copyright Act 1976 under Section 107, which makes allowances for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and let's not forget entertainment value. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Okay, as always, furthermore, I wish to acknowledge that not all the opinions and theories mentioned during the podcast are not necessarily the opinions or views of Nighthawk Eye Strange's podcast channel and William Nighthawk, aka me. We at Nighthawk High Strangeness YouTube channel and Facebook channels merely bring the open format of discussion for the possibilities of the Nighthawks High Strangeness YouTube channel family by subscribing and hit that like button if you would, please, because they're still not acknowledging the fact that anybody hits that like button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon too while you're at it, and set it to full or all. And, join the chat family, being respectful, and please put all questions in capital letters. All right, thank you. I'm going to get that off of there. And I have no idea why that was happening. The subject matter tonight is going to be a little sensitive. Okay. So that being said, I want to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat, and thank you to the moderators for being here and Eric for being here. I appreciate y'all very much. I'm going to let y'all do your own thing as I get through this introduction of the topic tonight, and then we'll get into it, okay? The topic tonight is going to be AI, okay? And I've noticed a lot lately, and I'm sure you all have, how much AI has affected social media. Okay, it affects what you see, what ads you have pop up on your social media platforms. It affects what you're viewing. It even affects your comments and stuff, and your referrals and stuff, and your friend requests and all this other crap. Okay. But it's gotten a lot worse. Okay. And there's a theory out there that AI is dead, that AI is non-existent. And I don't believe that for one instance, but apparently there is a gentleman out there who has a PhD, which I guess makes him smarter than me because I'm just a dumbass Indian. But his theory is that whatever AI is today is dead and non-existent, and it has been taken over by what we call synthetics. Okay, and we used to call them basically androids years ago, and that's why certain people are acting certain ways, and certain things are happening today, and technology has jumped years and years ahead in a short period of time. So I still think that's a little far-fetched that any synthetic would have that capability without AI. So I want to discuss AI. And here's one aspect of AI that nobody ever talks about. Okay. And this is something that that I don't know why. It took it upon myself to investigate it a little bit more thoroughly. And when it comes to AI, we all think about like the med beds and how AI can cure diseases and all this, and AI is answering all these ancient text, transcriptions and stuff, and translations as far as ancient Sumerian texts and all that. We all see it on social media and even in the news. But one aspect of AI that we haven't discussed kind of hit me the other day, and it kind of threw me for a loop. We talk about a prison planet a lot on Friday nights because it's conspiracy theory night, and the fact that this planet is a prison planet, that this planet is controlled by a supernatural type of a demigod, who I believe is not a god at all, but just a very powerful being that has been in control, and the bloodline has been in control for a very long time. Okay. And that it's even connected to the Black Knight satellite and all that, with AI. I really truly believe that what we see happening in our skies nowadays, including the northern lights that were so beautiful that I couldn't even freaking see because it was blacker than shit here where I live because of cloud coverage. Okay. Yet I was like in the zone for seeing the very, very well effects of the northern lights. Okay. So, and I saw other areas, other people reporting that when they went out and looked at the northern lights, that they got these extreme headaches, they got dizzy, their nose and nostrils, sinuses were burning. Those are all signs of like radiation. Okay. And trust me, I know because I went through it, with cancer. So those are all signs of radiation, folks. So whatever technology that they are using and AI is involved, they're getting pretty damn good at it to fake what's going on around us. Okay. But one aspect of AI that we really don't talk about is the prison system, the criminal processing part of AI. And, it's been through my research that there is something called Cognify. Okay. Now, this information I'll have to take that comment off of there, Eric, if you would, please. Cognify is the prison of the future. Okay. Now, the reason they're saying this is because this is something that can be done with 5G and 6G, which is technology they already have out that they're not telling you about. So all those 5G towers that they're making look like trees and stuff out in the middle of nowhere, so it blends in. Remember that this is going to be part of that technology, and it's called Cognify. Okay. Now, what Cognify is basically program, a chip or whatever they would implant. So you would have the memories of being in prison for whatever criminal activity that you participated in. If it was, say, murder of somebody or unaliving somebody, you would feel their pain. You would feel like you are in the prison system, when in actuality, the prison system is within your head. Okay, that you're not physically in prison, but you will have every effect emotionally and mentally and remembrance wise, as far as memory, of being in the prison system for 30, 40, 50 years at a time and going through all that, where they would set basically the parameters within your brain function through AI to manipulate your thought process, okay, and your imagination process, okay. They have this technology already, okay, and it's called Cognify, okay. Now, here's the thing. The world's prison population estimated to have increased by 24% since 2000, okay. That's almost 0.25% worldwide, okay. Despite differences between continents, is also approximately the estimate general increase in the world's population. So this is also another reason they would want to implement that, is for population control. Okay. Incarceration rates have risen astronomically since 1980s, tripling in the US, tripling, guys, and nearly doubling in many European countries. Okay. Well, I think I know one of the reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole Rumble channel subject matter right there. But this is the kind of stuff that they're talking about. Okay. Now, Cognify is a speculative prison concept that uses AI generated memories and brain implants to rehabilitate. There's that word, guys. It's not mind control. It's not, propaganda. It's rehabilitate criminals instead of punishing them. Prisoners would choose between a traditional sentence or the fast track of VR memories and implants. The AI would create customized memories from the victim's perspective, forcing the prisoner to experience the harm they caused and develop empathy and remorse. I just, for the life of me, I can't see a system like this. I'm putting it up on the screen so you can read it yourselves. There it is. And that is pretty much the setup. Kind of like a med bed, if you think about it. But yeah, it's such to make you feel the harm that you caused the victim, no matter what the criminal part of it was, okay, and have you develop empathy and remorse. In other words, they're putting emotions inside you through AI and this embedded, VR memories and implants through AI to falsify your brain function. And, man, people, I'm telling you, this shit is real. Okay. What you see going on right now around you is a simulation. Okay. I don't know how much plainer I can state it. Okay. Going on, Cognify is supposed to be the prison of the future. Okay. Now, Cognify, it addresses the bias and unequal applications. Looms a large. Would this technology be available to all prisoners, or would there be a risk of discrimination? Is a big concern. Could they use this against political opponents? Could they use this against religious opponents? Could they use this against racial divides? Could they, they could use this, whoever is in control of this type of a system would literally have the control of basically making divisions in people. Okay. Literally making and causing division within people. Which is really something. Cognify forces us to consider the future of criminal justice and the potential role of AI in rehabilitation, while the prospects of manipulating memories raises serious ethnical concerns. Cognify's core message focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. But they could punish you anytime they want by the push of a button, couldn't they? If they did a brain implant or a memory adjustment through VR technology. It's a discussion worth having, guys. It really is. Okay. Now, while the idea of Cognify is intriguing, it is riddled with concerns. Okay. A lot of it is riddled with ethical concerns. Memories are complex and not easily manipulated. Forcing artificial memories into someone's brain could have an unintended psychological consequences. Yeah, it could cause them to be a Charles Manson. It could cause them to be a Jeffrey Dahmer. It could cause them to be a Zodiac killer. You don't know what it could do. It could cause them to be so insane and criminally insane that they turn into a human cannibal. You don't know the effects of what this could do. Are complex and not easily manipulated. Forcing artificial memories into someone's brain could have unintended psychological consequences. The technology itself doesn't currently exist as far as mainstream is aware, but the potential for unintended side effects remains unknown. Beyond the technical hurdles lies a web of ethical dilemmas. Consent becomes a major issue. Would prisoners facing lengthy traditional sentences truly be given their free will when opting for the Cognify? Additional concerns about the biased and unequal application loom in the near future. So that's another question. Are they going to be giving up their free will? That's something to worth to consider, guys. Okay. Actually, traditional falls in the address and the root causes of criminal behavior. By directly experiencing the harm they caused, proponents argue prisoners would be more likely to be rehabilitated and less likely to reoffend upon release. Well, that's because they would have control of their brain function, making them basically a synthoid, a synthetic AI-driven being. Correct or not correct? Okay. So that being said, a faster, more humane prison system. I don't believe it is. I don't believe that it is a rehabilitation way of doing things. I believe it's a way of basically inducing mass control of a system that has been out of control for a very long time. And I'm curious to see what your all's thoughts are on that. And that's my opening statement, and I am going to stick to it. I want to know what Eric thinks about this and what you all in the chat think about it. So please, let's welcome Eric. And I want to go to the comments and say hello to everybody too while I'm at it. Eric, how we doing, brother?
You know, I've had better, but I've also had worse lately. You know, I was listening to you talk, and something popped in my head when you started talking. And do you recall at the World Economic Forum when Noah Harari was talking about they can now remove Homo sapien from life forms? We'll now be a new type of Homo sapien, in which I can't remember the term he called us, but he literally said Homo sapien will no longer exist and we can control how they think, vote, act, everything. They can now control everything about the human body. And this all came about when a certain little stick was being promoted, is when he came out and talked about this. Yep. So I'm hearing you talk about this AI prison deal, and I can't help but remember what Noah Harari and Klaus Schwab was talking about back then. And it just kind of, to me, it fits into place.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to bring this up tonight, because, you know, it is such a prominent subject, and nobody's talking about this. You're not going to see this on the mainstream news. You're not going to see this on social media that much. And I don't know what led me. Something told me to go down this rabbit hole. Something, projected me this thought process into my brain about how the whole concept of criminology is going to happen, and the crime and punishment system. Is there going to be justice for all? Is it going to be equal justice? And it just seems to me like we're going down this road all full of potholes and stuff, and, and divots and, cracks and crevices on a system that is so broke that someone is going to come along and do something like this. And I can't help but think, if you remember several years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago now, the whole process was brought out about insects and robotics, and now they got these artificial dragonflies and artificial bees and honeybees and even mosquitoes, and they're giving the poke to everybody through mosquitoes now. um,
Mhm.
all this stuff is happening. I can't help but think that the whole time that they were force feeding us that stuff was kind of taken away from us going into this aspect of AI. And then they started bringing up the med bed stuff, and all the medical good that AI can do. And I don't have my doubts that AI would not help out some medical research. Okay, but I look for it to be more along the lines as this Cognify than anything, this prison system in our head, in our brain. And, if they can make you feel the harm that you caused somebody, how do you think they're going to do it? They're already manipulating what you're seeing and feeling on a daily basis. That's what 5G is doing. Okay. And God knows if they've implemented 6G already. They probably have. And that's why all this other weird shit is happening in the skies above our head, you know? So I don't know, man. How do you trust a world government like the UN and the World Economic Forum and all that, and people like Charles Schwab, George Soros, Larry Fink? How do you trust the people? The ex CEO of Nestle's that said, that humans don't have a right to water. To water? I mean, if they have this mentality, what makes you think that they're not going to use this type of an AI program to control the masses if they haven't already?
Yeah. I was sitting there. You did, Tanya. We're giving crap to Tanya. I can't help but think about this type of AI that they're talking about, and all of a sudden, a Ray Stevens song pops in my head. They're coming to take me away, ha ha! They're coming to take me away, ha ha! So when you're talking about this type of AI, that literally is what pops in my head.
Well, I can't help but think that our government, or at least a fraction of our government, a dark faction of our government, a shadow government part of our government, is going along with this. Okay. And I don't care who supports, who that's in office. Okay. I'm not even going to say his name,
Yeah.
because I respect what he's doing and stuff and what he's trying to do. He's not perfect.
Yep.
He's going to have flaws.
Nope.
Okay. But none of us are perfect. Okay. For being made in God's image, none of us are perfect. Okay. So that being said, we can't blame him specifically for everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's one aspect
No.
that needs to be discussed on Rumble sometime. But you
Yeah.
know, he's merely, and the people that he's surrounding himself with lately are the ones that are wanting to do this. They're the ones that are building these AI data centers in Texas, stealing groundwater from local communities to cool those AI data centers in Texas, and making the people's water bills triple and quadruple in price. You know, he doesn't realize that some of these people that he is associating with within and accepting within the fold are the same evil people that have wanted to imprison humanity worldwide for a very long time. And that's just my opinion. And it's not his fault. And it's not, anybody that's really linked to him that cares about the America and cares about the citizens of this country. Okay. But at the same time, we have these evil governors that the Bible talks about, the principalities.
Yep.
Okay. that we need to defend ourselves from. And who do you think these principalities and evil governors are? It's these very
Oh yeah.
people.
Well, like you said, when he was in there the first time, he didn't realize how deep that the swamp was. I mean, that tells you there's many levels that this sickness, this evil, this darkness had gotten a hold of us, that it went further than what most people could fathom. And there's two types of AI out there. There's a good type and there's a bad type. The problem is we ourselves have just as much to do with which one becomes prominent as the people who's trying to push it.
I don't know, man.
What you use, how you use it, what you allow, all of that plays into it just as much. As you got to think, if we're not putting it out there, we're not using it, how are they going to push it? They come up with the idea.
Well,
they put it in our thought. It's up to us to be able to use it.
well, and here's another thing though, Eric, you got to consider too, and everybody in the chat. You have to consider this. When you're dealing with the world that we have right now, on a whole, looking at the whole thing, I don't care if you work for the government or not. I see everybody in the chat saying, "Oh, we're from the government and all this," and that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. You do you, boo, and I do me. Okay. But when you're dealing with a world that is so hell bent on destroying humanity, okay, through religion, through ethnicity, through, if you're a certain income level or lower, you're no good. You're not contributing, your fair share. When in actuality, the lower income people are the ones that have been paying their fair share. Okay. So, I get it as far as the whole, we're only as good as our leaders. Okay. I get that. Okay. But we're talking about nefarious forces that aren't our leaders. Okay. That nobody voted for, that nobody cares about. Okay. Except for probably wanting to put them in prison for crimes against humanity. And I just can't help but think that these are the same individuals, like I named previously, that are in control of this AI thing, and it's getting to the point where people, if you don't stand up to it now, you won't have the ability to. Plain and simple. They will take that free will from you to have the ability to stand up against AI.
The hell just happened? Huh.
I saw that.
Well, first I get a loud wolf howl. Then I heard a little scream. And now Norton just mysteriously pops up on my screen talking about updating.
Yeah. And before that, your screen went to like a looking through like a sheet of water, like looking behind a waterfall and looking out. Your whole screen had that effect for like 3 seconds.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's why I stopped there for a minute, went like this, because I just heard a loud wolf howl. I haven't heard that wolf howl since last winter. When I caught your claws. Dude, give me, come on, give me, Aurora. Okay, Aurora, you're not behaving. You're wrapping stuff up, honey. Sorry, guys. Since last winter when I caught them Bigfoot vocals.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what everybody thinks in the chat and stuff about this type of stuff, because this is getting to the point where You know, imagine a prison system that focuses solely on rehabilitation and not punishment. And they, when you're talking punishment, that's the whole purpose of a prison system. Okay, to punish somebody for the crimes that they commit, that they were convicted of. It's not a plus little country club. Okay, a system where criminals are offered a chance to shorten their sentences by undergoing procedures that implant artificial memories into their brain. And when you implant something into somebody's brain, what do you think's going to happen, people? I mean, come on. It's not rocket science. You just can't do that. You can't take and mess with somebody's imagination, with somebody's free will. You can't do it, no matter how much you want to change their mind from being a criminal to being somebody productive and prosperous in society. You can't take away their free will. Okay. Only one that can is the creator.
Stop and think about this. Throughout the existence of mankind, man is always trying to manipulate the weak and control them by any types of mental means possible. Okay? I don't care how you feel about them. Every type of evil person has done something extremely evil to humanity were extremely intelligent people. And they knew how to cause fear. They knew how to work fear. They knew how to control the weak-minded. We are an animal species that we want a dominant person controlling things. So we're the one, hey Jason, so we're the ones that allow these people to do this type of stuff. We're just at that age now where they went and said, hey, people like this AI. So being people like this AI, we can now use that as a new means of controlling the people's minds.
Right.
That's exactly what's going on. And if we let them do it, they will do it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, though, these memories wouldn't be a happy vacation that they're implanting. Okay.
No.
They would be crafted from the victim's perspective. Okay. They would be forcing the prisoner to experience the emotional impact of their crime. Okay. You have to understand that this could affect your bodily functions. This could affect your lifespan. This could affect so many different aspects of the human body. And this is just a core idea behind Cognify. It's a controversial concept for future prison systems designed by Hashim Al-Khalhi, a Berlin-based filmmaker and science communicator.
Say that name again.
Okay. Designed by a guy named Hashim Al-Khalhi.
And what is the origins of that name?
You tell me. I'm just.
All I can say is I spent some time in the sandbox with them type.
Yeah. I'm just the messenger. Okay, I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't crucify the messenger. Okay, but it seems to me the way our world is going right now, we're heading down this path for everybody, whether you're a criminal or not.
Urso got it. That's put a little hint. I spent some time in the sandbox with him.
Yeah. Well,
Jessica, I will agree with you 100% on that. I think this is the new phase of MK Ultra. I agree with you 100% on that.
Yep. Exactly. So I don't know. And yes, it's true that incarceration rates, have risen, like I said, almost 25% over the entire, globe, since the year 2000. And it's literally tripled here in America since the 1980s. So obviously, I mean, there's going to come a point in time when the prison system's not going to be big enough. Okay. And you're going to have, mass incarcerations of criminal elements. Maybe now if they didn't do this, what's their next recourse for severe criminal punishment? Think about that aspect too.
We're talking about crime, prison rates, right? Rising. This is the main focus. This is what's bringing in this AI crap. Folks, let's get real for a second. Let's get really real. Hey, Corey, what is the cause for an increase in criminals? There's a couple causes to increase of criminals. And there's going to be more to this, but I want to see what you guys say. What is the two main causes for the increase of criminal activity? I'm going to see if anybody in here can get this. At least one of them. I'll be tickled pink if you can at least get one of the two main causes for the increase of criminal. Not hunger. Nope.
I want to
It
say
is a cause.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Somebody said
it is a cause and effect, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get religion. That could be a symptom of it, but no. Money also going to be a symptom, but no. Cost of living, no. Two things that causes the increase in criminal activity in this country. Number one, the destruction of the nuclear family. You now have no mentor. You have no, this is where religion plays in. You're supposed to have a family unit that has both the nurturer, educator, and disciplinary. The disciplinary fits the second one. There is no fear for the crime.
Yeah.
They've taken and destroyed the nuclear family, and they got rid of fear for doing a crime. This is what causes the increase in criminal activity. But they don't tell you now. I know they did that on purpose.
Yeah. Here's my concern with this too, though. This goes above and beyond criminal intent. Okay. This goes above and beyond political biases and religious biases. What if they're going after a certain bloodline too? What if it's because, well, say for instance, A positive blood people. Okay. Do you know that 70 to 80% of all A positive blood people have brown eyes and dark hair and non-white, I hate that term, skin tone? Okay. What if it's a certain bloodline, a certain type of people? Okay. What if it's O positive people who make up, basically 33% of the population of the world? Okay. What if it's, O negative, make up 37% of the world? They could literally use this just like they used the technology of what they called the smart bullet back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Okay. And you know what I'm talking about. They can set this up to look for a certain bloodline, a certain genetic marker, just like they've been doing for all these thousands of years. Okay. And coming after a certain bloodline. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. The first thing, if you want to take God and the creation of humanity in the image of God, what's the first thing you're going to remove from humanity? Their free will. I'm just saying.
Yep. I think everything that's been happening, let's say 40 years. The last we'll go a small portion of what's been changing, but the last 40 years alone, Look at everything has changed in the last 40 years. You know,
Yep.
nuclear family destroyed, different types of drugs coming out, mind altering drugs. Let me rephrase that. Different types of really jacked up mind altering drugs that came out. You got the establishment of individuals in places that have the power to change things. I'm trying not to get, because this is just a lot of this is really borderline of a rumble topic. You got debt. They've created a new form of debt that controls your way of thinking. I don't have it on me. Oh yeah, I guess I do. I lose it all the time. These things changed dramatically and now are mind controlling your television, your radio, your sports. The list goes on of all this stuff that has completely changed and has led to mind controlling and alteration type stuff. So that's why when Jessica said a new type of MK Ultra, I agreed with her 100% because that's exactly what's going on. Your food has changed. Your education has changed. Your technology has changed. Your very way of thinking has changed. Certain types of people are become more prominent than what they used to be. Everything has changed. Everything that is godly has been altered or removed and placed with something that is not godly. And look where the hell we're at. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree. So where do we go from here, though? That's the thing, folks. We have given permission unknowingly to people to control humanity as a whole since the start of, well, Jessica just mentioned it, the 23andMe was a way of doing
Yep.
it. The ancestries.com was a way of doing it. I honestly do believe that this kind of a so-called cognified prison system of the mind, instead of physically imprisoning somebody, is a way to remove a certain bloodline, okay, and can be used for that fact, okay, and
Yeah.
That should be terrifying to everybody, okay, and when you start messing with people's free will, you're almost assuming that you're godly. Well, you know what? There's only one creator, only one God. And I don't believe for one instance that anybody walking this earth right now is a God. Okay? None. Including AI.
Let me ask you guys a question. Who in here has heard the theory that DNA cannot survive for very long? I want to see who all in here has heard that very same thing. And there's a reason why I'm asking this question, because it's going to lead up into exactly what we've been talking about. Can everybody recall in here how they say, we got to constantly keep up on the DNA stuff because DNA don't last? So I want to see. I'm kind of curious. You're kind of curious with you too, William. Is that something you recall hearing as well?
Yeah, I remember hearing something about it, but my mind is so busy elsewhere right now that I got 18 million things going on in my head at the same time. So
yeah. So we have been told that for a very long time, and I can tell you now, and that's a bunch of crap, and I can prove it to you very easily that that's a load of crap. Because, take for instance, in the military, every 6 months to a year, we always had to have fresh DNA drawn from us, because if something happened to us, then they can find our bodies. That's what they told us, because DNA don't last. If DNA don't last, how does DNA of a dinosaur last millions of years? If DNA don't last, how can they find a murderer on a crime that happened 50 years ago if DNA don't last? What are they doing with your DNA? Then you got 23andMe, you got Ancestry.com. All this stuff here goes totally against what they always said. DNA don't last. So we got to keep DNA on file quite often because after a short amount of times, DNA breaks down and it does. I remember even learning that in college. And I said, yeah, you're full of crap. And my professor's like, well, explain yourself. And I told him just that same thing. And he had no answer for it. I said, that's why I
Right.
don't learn what's in a textbook. Because what's
Right.
in a current textbook is a lie.
Sorry, I'm
Exactly.
reading the chat.
You guys have, yeah, and I bring it up because everybody's saying hey, Michelle, very accurate things. So that tells me there's something else behind. That's why I never did 23andMe. That's why I never did Ancestry.com because I was like, they don't need my DNA. The military's pulled it enough that they want my DNA. They have it on file. DNA don't change unless it has been changed. That's it. And DNA
Yeah.
doesn't disintegrate. It doesn't go bad. How do you think they're cloning the woolly mammoth? How do you think they're cloning the saber-toothed tiger? How do you think, which I don't think they're cloning, I think they're cloning them to a degree, but I can tell you now, there's enough evidence to suggest that even the woolly mammoth still existed in the far northern regions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did they
Well,
actually
there's been
clone them or
reports
they just
in
brought them
Alaska,
closer?
in the cold tundra of Alaska. I remember a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago now, that there was reports of the seismographs going off in Alaska from heavy mammal or animals walking, and that they recorded it, and there was no volcanic or activity or earthquake activity at the time, except in certain regions of Alaska, northern Alaska, in the cold tundra in the wintertime from something walking that was very heavily footed. So, I mean, obviously, DNA is a key to what what they're doing and what their plans are with this world, and humanity for that matter. I think that are they producing things that they shouldn't be with human DNA? I think that's very, very likely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have proof of it? I have, how do I want to say this? I had 7 levels above top secret security clearance in the military, just so you know. So I have seen things across teletype and above top secret clearances that most people weren't privy to see. Um, there are things out there that a lot of people are not aware of, and those things can definitely change, since I haven't been in a long time, and have gotten worse. And who do you think's controlling those things that have changed to degrade humanity, to take away from humanity? So, I mean, if you're gonna fight, now's the time, because AI is not going to be humanity's friend. I don't care what anybody says. It is not going to be humanity's friend. It's not going to be the saving grace of humanity. It's going to be humanity's downfall. Because even
Yeah, we let it
even
be.
some of the elitist people that are in control of AI technology have come out and stated that AI can be a god. No, AI cannot be God. There's only one God.
That's exactly what Noah Havari said. That is the exact words of Noah Havari at the World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab. What you said was his words. AI will now be the new God and we control him.
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that. That was during the
I got to
same
take a
time he
break
was
from
talking
talking,
about
so you guys
alternative
go
cheese.
ahead.
No worries. But yeah, there's it all goes back to what I was saying. You know, it's up to us. Are we going to fall for their mind control crap and let it control us, or are we going to stand up and say, "Here's your sign with the international peace symbol," and not go their route? Or are we just going to go, "Okay, you said it was good, so let's do it"? Yeah. No, not me. Not this fluffy guy. This fluffy guy ain't
Yep.
going to do that crap.
Well, let me
You
ask
know.
everybody
But,
this too, Eric. Let me ask everybody in the chat this too. Where do you
mhm.
think these so-called cryptids are coming from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. I'm just waiting to see
Okay.
somebody
Okay. Good.
answer that.
Oh. Okay. Whew, I thought I lost you for a second. I was like, God dang it. Underground.
Do any of you actually think that all these so-called undiscovered species, you know, all these cryptid creatures are actually terrestrial, are actually flesh and blood, were created on this world through natural means? No, of course not. It was all changed with DNA. Okay. The same thing they've been doing with humanity for a very long time. And now that AI is in the mix again, and I mean again because there is an ancient AI system out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're going to be doing so much that, and if they take away mankind's free will with this cognify system, this prison system of the mind, God help us. God help everyone, because it's going to be bad for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's the thing. You said that you said the key word. They take away our free will. Certain individuals and certain powers have been taking away our free will for a very long time, and we've been the ones dumb enough to let them do it. And now that it's biting us in the ass, we're finally bitching about it. People like me has
Yep.
been saying it for a long time. Is we're crackpots, conspiracy theorists, kooks. We're just trying to
Well,
get
my
attention. Our 15 seconds of
my
fame. It's
my
happening
thing
right
with
now.
this, yeah, my thing with this whole AI thing is nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about
Mhm.
Cognify. Nobody's talking about how they're going to take free will from the criminal element. Who knows? I
Mhm.
mean, with AI, they can fabricate whatever they want to call anybody a criminal. Think about it, guys. This is something that needs
And
to be discussed and needs to be brought up in mainstream media and needs to be rectified. These people they're out of control and they need to be stopped. Plain and simple. And I'm probably putting a bullseye on me, but you know what? Tough shit. It's the truth.
what is the greatest tactic to use against your enemy during a time of war?
Propaganda.
That is one. That is not the one that I'm thinking of. Turn your enemy's strengths against them. Take and do what a certain organization has done for a long time. Take what it was somebody's beliefs, their structures, their way of life, and transform it into their own. Then by doing that, you have control over those people.
Well, they've already
So,
got control over the people, Eric, because they control the narrative.
for the most part,
They control the media. They control television stations. They control, Hollywood. They control radio stations. They control the narrative. So what's stopping them from this
Mhm.
next step? Nothing, because humanity's not standing up to them. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
AI is going to be great until they take away your free will.
hmm So what I'm getting at is, I've said this for a long time. There's two types of AI. There's the one that we're really talking about, and then there's another one. So when people talk about, oh, AI's gotten dumber, no, they're not. The AI's not gotten dumber. That's been this little AI over here. That was never meant to do what this AI here does. This AI was meant to usher in this AI without anybody blinking a bad eye. Then you combine the two together, you mix them up, and now you think they're all one and the same when they're actually two separate ones. So now you let something that was good, now you ushered in and allow the bad to take over.
Okay.
It is a textbook it's a textbook war strategy,
Thank
and
you,
a lot
Ken.
of people can't wake up and see that.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Broken, Shaken, and Still Glowing. I love that name.
Oh, I know we've been teasing her a
love
little
that
bit
name.
tonight.
Oh, that's an awesome name. I love that name, by the way. That is awesome. That's a long name though. Might have to shorten it.
Yeah, and I was going to say BS and SG, but I was like, I probably can't say that one.
Yeah,
That might be bad.
but this is just something that I felt really needed to be talked about tonight, guys. And the research that I've found on it is they've been implementing this for a very long time. Who's to say that they're not even already doing this to some people in trials? It's think about it. It's the new ankle bracelet. It's the new ankle bracelet, guys. It's the new house arrest. Okay. And it's in your mind and it takes away your free will. It literally puts and creates vivid, realistic memories from the victim's perspective. Okay. Which is not a bad thing. Okay. To make the criminal in their brain and in their memories and their download to have empathy and remorse for the victim. Okay. But at the same time, you got to think of it as this way. That technology can be twisted and turned around on humanity as a whole. Okay. So unless they tighten it up with some kind of regulation control or, keep certain elitist a-holes out of the mix, it's going to be a problem. Mark my words, it's going to be a problem in the future. It's just my, from my research and what I've, studied and stuff about it, it's definitely going to be a problem in the future, in the very near future. And it's something that you all need to be aware of.
Yeah, and we're the ones that's going to allow it to happen unless we stand up.
Anyways, on a lighter note, okay, we found out today that we can't get no help for all the horde of kitty cats that we got here.
Oh no.
Yeah. Humane Society and the SPCA have pretty much told us unless we pay up for the horde of cats that have been dropped off here by other people, that they won't help. So that being said, I don't know what to do about it. I hate that, I actually took the time out the other day, Eric, and this is not like me to do, except for the one old cat that we've been taking care of that's left from the first brood that we did get fixed, and their ears are cropped and all that because they're fixed. But I actually made a shelter for them out of a I took a waterproof cardboard box, the waxed kind, and I took a giant garbage bag and put it around the outside of it, and I insulate it with the styrofoam packaging from like Amazon along the sides and stuff, and bubble wrap and all that. And it's big enough for, I guess, it's big enough for about half of them to get into. Um, but
Mhm.
and it's getting to the point where they I don't know what's going to happen, and come to find out somebody else dropped another cat off. We saw it today, and it's an older cat and a bigger cat. And why are people getting pets and not? I mean, I understand times are tight. Okay, I understand that. Okay, but my God, there's places you can go for help. um I'm on a disability income, and I can barely take care of my own family with what I have. And now I'm taking care of everybody else's cat in this area, and it's getting to the point where it's overwhelming, guys. So I just wanted to say that. Um, Eric's, having it rough too, and I'm sure everybody in the chat is having it rough. George, how you going, brother? Good to see you. Um, it's getting to the point where you start to question, are things happening? And I've got
Mhm.
this theory. Okay, if we are in a simulation and they're trying to keep our souls attached to this world, this realm, AI is a great tool to use to do that. Okay, to make that soul prison. Okay, which is another problem that I have with the whole free will thing being taken away. But what if they're actually in the programming of this AI through 5G manipulation of people's brain waves and stuff? What if they're taking and utilizing people's connection to, say, Fido, or or a cat or something, and using that as a like a chain or a linkage to keep them at a lower vibration and attached to this world, you know like kind of like a the old ball and chain type of mentality. Okay, I'm not saying cats aren't real and dogs aren't real, um, but what if there was some way for an AI system to make you think that what you're interacting with is a pet that is in distress, a domesticated pet that is in distress and that loves you and cares for you, and you in turn have those affections towards it, and it locks you into this world. Okay, that's the extent that AI can do. Okay, that's the extent that I'm talking about, that AI can do. AI can do that. Okay, AI's already got everybody fooled on social media practically, because they're getting so good, they're not making the mistakes of seeing an extra digit. Okay, or something being wrong with this skin of somebody. um, they're getting really good at refining it. Okay, AI has evolved to the point where now you literally have to question everything, guys. Literally. And that's my final thought, and that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
What do you got going on tomorrow, Eric?
Well, of course, I talked to you backstage about this. During
Yeah.
tomorrow's campfire chats, I have something very strange, disturbing that's happened here the other night that I'm going to be talking about. Um, I can't tell you what it is. I have is absolutely no idea what it is. But what happened? It's yeah. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, anybody else has got anything they're going to share, we're going to talk about that as well. But I had something happen here the other night that's the very first for me ever. And it's very unsettling. Um, so we'll talk about that. Sunday, I'll be picking up where I left off, I think. Let me look here. Yes, I'll be starting with Iowa, where I'm picking a creature from a state folklore, and I'm going to try to get through all the 50 states um, and talk about these creatures. So that's s'mores in the campfire chat. Hell yeah, Bigfoot. So that's what's going to go on this weekend. I did Wednesday night. I did a recording with Bigfoot, Wild Man, and Boogers. As soon as I get the release date of that video, I will let you know. But I was a guest appearance on that show, and they are wanting to do more shows with me. So I may be making some more appearances on that show. Oh, Michelle, you're
thank
awesome.
you.
You're
That
the
is
baddest.
awesome, Michelle.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you. Thank you. That is awesome.
So
Big shout out. Big
we
shout
already
out.
we talked about Georgia or ABCDFGH. Yep. We talked about Georgia last week, Unreal. I can't remember. Actually, give me a second. Georgia was the Atamaha is what we talked about last week on Georgia. I just love saying that name. Atamaha.
Okay.
I couldn't say the name, so that's how it came out. Was Atamaha. So that's how I was saying it because it just sounded good to me.
God, I needed that.
But yeah, that was last week. Yeah. Amy. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Thank
Amy,
you.
thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Aw. You're the baddest too, Amy. I can't remember what hold on, I gotta look it up for my boy Bigfoot Dwarf here. California was the Tejo Tessie. Tejo Tessie was California's.
You got the Tessie in California, big BD.
Yeah. You got the Tessie. So, but I love how that name came out and I couldn't say it right. So that's how I'm going to stick with it at the So I'm sorry, I giggle every time I say that.
Wow.
But so I got all that going on. Keep an eye on my Facebook. Once I get the release date of that guest appearance on Bigfoot, Wild Man, and Boogers, I'll let you guys know. And
awesome.
There was Marianne and Jen that interviewed me. We couldn't get through everything that I knew, so they're like, "Yeah, we're definitely going to have you back on again." And I'm going to be bringing them on my show sometime too.
Man,
Yes,
I'm going to be
Tejo Tessie. I've looked for her.
I'm going to be
Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
I'm going to be probably going on a couple podcasts this coming week too. That Japan
cool.
Paranormal podcast. I'm supposed to be setting something up with them, and another one with my buddy Nick Valenti, and those guys there that are that had me on last time too. So, but yeah, I just tomorrow morning we're going to have the regular program at 11 a.m. Paranormal. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. It's just going to be a mix of stuff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, of course, we're going to have the Supernatural Sunday morning program at 11 a.m. also. where you guys come on and talk about your supernatural encounters and all that. So, and then I'm going to be doing a couple videos, those 20-minute videos. I got one I got to do on the frequency and stuff, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow night and release it. I will say this, guys, when I talk about frequency, trust me, you might want to listen, because some of the stuff that I've found out that I've been doing and the levels that I've been doing them at, it'll blow your mind about the whole 369 thing and Nikola Tesla. So that being said, I will see everybody in the morning, and Eric in the morning, hopefully at 11 a.m.
Yep.
And
depends if I got a deer down or not.
Yeah. Well, let me know.
I'll let you know. Yeah, I got to hit the deer woods in the morning.
Do you want to post your PayPal on there?
It's on my stuff.
You sure?
So yeah, it's on my stuff. No, I got to hit the deer woods in the morning. So
okay,
I get food for the refrigerator.
Yeah, just be careful. Like I said, be careful.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it's definitely going to be an unnerving morning with what's been going on. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. No, Marcy, I haven't heard from Josh at all. That's he might be busy. I'll check it out to see and let everybody know. I know he was busy with a couple investigations he's got going on. So, but that being said, hopefully, barring any problems tomorrow morning, I will see everybody in the morning. Okay. If there is a problem, I will see everybody tomorrow before Eric's show. It depends on if they're messing with my internet and my electronics, because I'm surprised that they've let us continue this conversation as long as we have tonight. But that being said, question everything, guys. Question everything. Okay. You have that right as a human. Okay. And fight for your free will, because I'm telling you, they're going to come for it. They are, and they're going to come hard and fast. Yep. So that being said, everybody, I want to thank you for everybody that has been in the chat tonight. You guys are phenomenal as always. Thank you to the moderators. Love you guys to death. And thank you to Eric, my little brother here, and all of his help with this channel. And make sure you support him as much as you can. So that being said,
and from the Atamaha,
yeah, go ahead.
I always say peace, love, and blessings, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Through the mist we rise, a force unbroken, with banners high and hearts awoken. The sound of pipes, our war is calling. Like thunderous waves, our duty is falling. Stand tall, together we fight, with courage found in every breath. We'll fight like lions, defy our death. In unity, our hearts shall sing the legacy of warriors through every reign. With battle cries, we forge our fate. In fields of valor, in we elevate. As shadows loom, our spirits plead.